Hello, and welcome to the Social Psychic Radio Show, featuring Jason Zook. In uncertain times, we must change our focus and priorities. This show will highlight social justice issues with the goal of expanding minds and increasing unity, love, and mutual respect for ourselves and our planet. We support the Black Lives Matter movement. Our show aspires to promote social spirituality, which simply means that by coming together, we can solve any of our problems, including the goal of bringing an end to all forms of hate, discrimination, bias, or oppression. We must protect our environment, reform our criminal justice system, and protect every citizen from police brutality. When we come together, it becomes possible to bridge the gaps that plague our society and divide us from within. We the people means everyone.
Hello and welcome to the Social Psychic Radio Show.
Hello.
I have a very special treat for our audience today. I have an amazing person, a social influencer, a TikToker named Memekeely on the show today. And the reason I have Keeley on the show is she's also psychic and highly intuitive, and she's very creative. And I want to share her gifts with our audience. I want to get her viewpoints and her perspective, because I know from looking at her energy when we interact with each other, that she's got this amazing energy that's healing for people, very calming. And I'm just so excited to get her on the show to talk about her information with us and share her background, a little about Keeley. I do believe that you're going to see a lot about her coming up in the future. As I said, she's a TikTok influencer, a psychic, a creative force. And with 152,500 followers and 3.7 million likes on TikTok, she's a force to reckon with. Keeley, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And it's a funny story how you and I even met each other, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I got on TikTok. I have a best friend who's also a psychic, and she told me about TikTok, and I was like, you know what? I'll check this out. So I go on there, and then I came across your information. I added you because I had to give you kudos. I'm like, you have a substantial audience, and congratulations. I admire that.
Yeah.
And so then I'm on Instagram, and someone's impersonating you, hitting me up for a reading, right? And I'm thinking it's you and I talking. So then I contacted you after the fact, and I'm like, listen, I don't think this is you.
Nope.
And then so we recorded it to Instagram, the bot or whoever it was. And then you and I got a chance to get that out of the way and talk. And I was like, okay, this is synchronicity.
Yeah.
The universe brings us together for a reason.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, I have a podcast. Would you like to come on and share your story with my audience? And here we are.
Right. And I'm like, yeah, because it's crazy. I do have a lot of people impersonating me. So it was nice for something good to come from it, because that's the one good thing that's come from all of it, because it's been stressful. So you contacted me. I was like, oh, this is meant to be. Okay, good.
Well, and it was literally, we got introduced through the messenger on Instagram. And I just knew from your energy that you're somebody I'd like to get to know better, collaborate, learn from, and promote. So I felt that just right away. My spirit guides, I know when I know other spiritual people who are like amazing energies that you just want to like help in any way you can, or get to know and just learn from. And so one of my first questions for you is, when did you begin your journey as an intuitive psychic?
Well, I've always known in some way or capacity that I was intuitive. I just never knew what it was. I was like, oh, I feel like I should do this or do that. I just always listened to my gut. I thought it was my gut. And then around 2 years ago, it'd be like 3 years ago now, I moved to a certain apartment, and I was so drawn to the forest. And my wife's used to me. She was like, here she goes. I was like, I just really am connected to this forest. She goes, okay. And I'd walk my dog every day and see this particular tree. And I was incredibly drawn to it, to the point where I'd Google, are people connected to trees? Is there spirits in trees? Like, what is going on? Like, I didn't even do tarot readings. I was just like, I'm obsessed with this freaking big tree right now. And I started to go every single day. And every day I just tap more and more into myself in just a really unusual and amazing way. I'd go and talk for ages under this tree and just really begin to understand about myself. And I was like, I really want to learn tarot. And I just began to do that. And it came to me. I said to myself, if I'm meant to do anything, universe, because I didn't know, I'd like, God, universe, if I'm meant to do something, please give me the tools and make it as easy as possible for me to do, so I know I'm meant to do it. Then I found like tarot cards at a thrift store. I was like, okay, they were like $1. I was like, okay, I guess I'll try these out. I started being drawn to playing cards and trying to figure that out. I was like, okay, I'm open to this. Okay. And then I was pushed to do personal readings online. I would just do them for people within my own life that I loved and cared about. And they kept saying, get online and do it. But I was too scared that everyone would just say you're lying or it didn't resonate. And then one time I went live on my Instagram for the first time, and it just opened my eyes to the fact that I'm actually good at this. Everyone said it resonated. It was the truth. And I was like, for real? Like, this is the first time I have recognition for something that comes naturally to me. So I started to pour into it. Quarantine came around and the coronavirus, and I was stuck in my house going crazy. And I was like, let me just try TikTok. I would post dances or videos of my dog. And then I was like, let me post a tarot reading for the first time. And then it blew up. And then I did another one and people loved it, and another one and another one. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, Spirit, if this is something I meant to do, please allow me to know what to post, what songs to use, what to do in order to help myself and the people that are watching. And it just like blew up. And then I'm this person now, because I've always been creative. I've always been alternative, like with my style and things. And I finally claimed the term psychic instead of, because I used to be terrified because my wife was raised Catholic. My family doesn't really even believe in God. Like, it was just the most far-fetched thing for them to even think. But I was like, look, if this is something I am, please help me embody it to the best of my ability. And here I am. So everything, all the journey's just been, look, if this is what I'm meant to do, please show me and I'll listen. I've always listened to my gut, and now I know what that is. And I trust it with everything in me completely.
For me, I consider being psychic the best icebreaker that exists.
Yeah,
no matter what, if people know we're psychic, what's the first thing they want to know? Right? What's it like? What am I thinking right now? Or do you pick up something about blah blah blah? And
tell me something about myself. And then I do, and they're like, okay.
But so there's never a dull moment with it. Now, before we got on the recording, I was telling you about, I was kind of complaining for a second about how I had someone contact me about the coronavirus, and that happens. And I have a very staunch position that people should be vaccinated and take precautions and all that. And, being a psychic isn't easy when you have people calling you during a pandemic and asking you questions that are asking you to play God. And that kind of ruffled me a little bit. I was just like, it's my Sunday afternoon right now, and I'm so looking forward to my 4:00 interview with you. That's honest, 100% honest. My show is like the highlight of my day usually when I get to do stuff.
That's awesome.
But I'm like sitting there, I'm like so looking forward to 4:00, and I'm like kind of doing some background research on you more so, like just want to look at your stuff and come up with some questions that I feel would be highlighting you the best for our audience. And then I had this reading and it threw me off a little, but then we get on here and my energy just goes right back to where it was.
Yeah.
So there's gratitude having you on. And I love the fact that you can share that you have the creative energy and flow as an intuitive psychic, because I consider myself the same way. So we're like a rare breed, because I feel like the energy with you is so high, and you have a lot of output that you're going to be doing. You're just starting up right now. You're going to have books. You're going to do products.
I'm working on books. Yeah.
I see books. I see products. I see merchandise. I see you doing things like right now. You're like, oh my God, I have so much I have to do. But when you get to where I see you going, you're going to be so grateful.
Thank you so much.
I read energy. So when I talk to people, I just tell you what I'm picking up off your energy.
Yeah, same here. I'll go like blah, 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 like, I appreciate it, because it never happens for me. I'm normally doing it for other people. So it means a lot, because I am working on a book. I'm working on a numerology book. I'm working on a lot of things, and my website, things that I want to have to like solidify, like I am here, I'm doing something. Because I love to do readings, but I love to do music. I love to graphic design. I love to design my own tarot cards. I've got t-shirts and I'm working on
I can't wait.
2 oracle decks where I'm just like,
and guess what?
To do these things.
When you have those things come out, my best friend owns a metaphysical shop in Tampa, and she sells tarot cards, and she'd love to feature your stuff. I can tell you right now.
Yes, I would love to.
We're super tight.
The balls just started to roll, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and I see the merchandise coming off of your stuff. And I also see you do an unboxing of your merchandise for YouTube videos in the future. So don't be surprised if you're not showing people what you have available to them. And I do think you're going to do a lot with empaths In the future, there's going to be stuff you work with empaths, helping empaths understand their sensitivity to emotions of others and feelings of others.
Yeah.
So just know that
a lot about that. So
you've been sensitive your whole life, and I think it runs in your family. You probably have other relatives that are very intuitive as well. They just don't always talk about it as much as they should.
Yeah. I'm lucky enough. Like my mom, she's not here anymore, but she, without knowing, was incredibly intuitive and just guided people and never judged a soul. She had friends that were prostitutes and drug dealers and just would help them and not judge them, because for what? They're going through their own journey. So I've learned a lot from her, and she guides me now every single day. She's
your guide. She's with you. She's your ride or die, right?
She was my best friend. We would like Tweedledum and Tweedledee. Like
she's saying ride or die, or I'm just kidding as a joke, like lasting forever to help you through things.
No, for real though. Like she is so like, so.
And she loves who you're with right now. And, she's happy where you're at and who you're with. She
chose her for me 1,000,000%.
She's saying it. She's like your angel.
No, she is. I've done a lot of
soul search,
like internal meditation and stuff to try and visualize my mom too. So I know she's physically an angel now. And my wife's an amazing person. And we've definitely helped each other like grow spiritually on each other's journeys. And
twin flames.
Yeah. 1,000, a million.
Props up to that. I met somebody I thought was I know someone who I know is a twin flame, but that's a whole other story. But
twin flame is not easy, but
not at all. You know what though? It makes you a better person.
I'm grateful for the person I am now, like what I've gone through because of the relationship.
Did you have the journey where you were a runner and a chaser? Was there a period where one of you got too scared and ran away? Because that's always a classic feature of most twin flame scenarios. Is you meet somebody you connect with and they're amazing, and then you like realize that, and next thing you know, you turn around, they're gone. You're like, what happened?
What's crazy is she was living in Texas and I was living in the UK, so we had so much distance anyway. So I think that was kind of what was the challenge was, and we didn't really like run away from each other, but it was like we were so far, and then I moved here. But the biggest challenge is just like helping her through her spiritual journey and her growth and what she has to process. And then her helping me and me being a psychic and knowing that she has to go through certain things. But
she's your anchor.
Doing that. Yeah.
She anchors you. You've never really been anchored much in the past. So this is the first time you've been anchored down. And that's a big vulnerability you had to overcome in order to get to where you're at with each other.
100%.
And she helped you get through that. And I see that. And you're going to help her with, like, it's almost like you're the yin yang, the 1,000,000%. That's how you view each other in your life. And I see that. And I see a long life together. I see a lot of love. I see a lot of cooperation. I actually see you including her in the future and like things you do professionally too.
Yes. So I'm also involved because she's a rapper here in Austin, Texas, doing really well for herself.
Excellent.
We're planning to move to LA soon, hopefully, to really build things. But I'm her DJ, so I do that too.
That's you know what I mean?
Like, I help her with her stuff. She wants to help me with my stuff.
You're artists. We're all artists. We're creators. Whatever kind of form of I do podcasting. That's my forte for now.
Yeah.
You do amazing stuff online, and you have all these other creative energies. Like my best friend Megan. Like you're an artist at heart. You're like
I am completely.
You're a digital age of like a Da Vinci or any of those kind of people. But it's hard for people sometimes to understand that. And I guess that's something that my audience may be curious about. Being a social influencer, how did you take that when it started for you? Like, what was it like for you to go from where you were before to all of a sudden having a response of viral videos or posts? And you're like, what goes through your mind?
Well, what's funny is like, I was a YouTuber back in the day, like 10 years ago, and I was really successful at it. I was well known. I was going to be going to like BeautyCon, like other like big YouTuber things in the UK. But unfortunately, like my mental health, and I wasn't where I am now spiritually. I just wasn't in a good place, and I just fell off from it. I was going through personal things in my life, and I just like let that go. But that was like, I was very successful in YouTube, and I was really proud of it, and I grew it myself, and that really what began to get me out of my shell. That's where Memekeely, that's where on YouTube, it was the emancipation of Mimi, like Mariah Carey, like a butterfly, like being free. So I was like, Memekeely, I want to be me. So I did that YouTube channel, and I was just doing videos and advice, doing psychic things, but I didn't even realize at the time. And then moved to America, was just growing and understanding myself, still trying to be on social media. And I was successful, but just was not into it because I didn't just want to post beauty. I didn't just want to do vlogs. Like it was all so empty to me, so empty. I hated it, but I had to do it to maintain it. And it was how I paid my bills. So TikTok literally gave me my purpose, because I realized like I have a voice, people hear it. I can be creative on there and still be a psychic and help so many people. Be me. I discovered who I was. Truly, I was like an alternative person in my fashion and my music. I was like, I know who I am now. And then TikTok just went boom, and then here I am type thing. So
you've done it more than once.
Bigger, but yes, like I've always.
What are the odds? That's like, what are the odds of you succeeding on YouTube and then succeeding on TikTok? I mean, that tells you that there's something inside of yourself that's meant to be marketed and promoted and created.
Yeah, like I understand the internet, the concept of just the whole.
That's your
thing.
Intuitive ability in part, in a way, right? Mm-hmm. I have to ask you.
Yeah.
Trippie Redd or Brad Pitt?
Trippie Redd, what the frick? Trippie Redd all day.
One of your earlier posts. One of your earlier posts talked about that. That's what I'm going to ask you that.
Yes, like if it was actors, if it was Brad Pitt or Johnny Depp, I'd choose Johnny Depp. But Trippie Redd, yeah.
Who's been your greatest influence and why?
If I'm truly honest with you, it's a lot of the celebrities of our time that passed too soon. I'm incredibly connected to them, whether it be artists or musicians or actors, from Michael Jackson to Whitney Houston to Van Gogh to Basquiat to XXXTentacion of our generation that passed. I've incredibly beyond connected. Judy Garland, she's dear to my heart too. People who have passed, who come to me to teach me how to survive what is to come in my life. They know that I'm someone that, and I feel for myself, I'm someone that's here to help shape the way society views celebrities in a different way as human beings, and to help guide them through such a traumatic, vulnerable, just horrible life that they live, but people look towards it because it looks perfect, but it's really, really, really not. So all those celebrities are such a big inspiration to me because they remind me of using your purpose and not letting the world drain you, and trying to see that you're here for an amazing reason, and you have to keep good people around you. You know, like I've suffered with mental health my whole life. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts. I've wanted to attempt certain things and all these things that I've personally gone through in my life. And it kind of runs in my family too, unfortunately. So I have to really fight every single day to just be focused. And those type of people just remind me that like they've gone and seen what's there and come back and been like, Keeley, you got to fucking keep going. Like you got to keep going because you are someone that is really going to help not just a small amount of people, but if I get to a certain level that I'm trying to get to, I just want to help everyone. And they all know that Keeley knows what she's talking about, and you don't have to be afraid, or you can talk to certain gods and goddesses. Like, I just want to make that cool again. And that's what I'm here to do, to make the gods and goddesses that surround us daily a part of our lives again, so that they're not hidden or it's weird or freaky or like, oh, it's scary. It's like, no, they're here every day and they need us. So who inspires me? The celebrities that have passed, because they all come to me and I'm like, hello. And all the gods and goddesses that you can think of, and the ones that you're afraid of and the ones that you overlook, because they all make this earth what it is. And they were here before us and they'll be here after us, and they're just here to help us. So that's who inspires me, really. A lot of things.
I have to thank you personally for bringing up mental health awareness, because I also have suffered, in my family has had mental health issues. My grandmother, my mom, my brother, me, we all have, my uncle. I go through like depression, anxiety myself. And I've had during this pandemic, it was really a struggle to go through moments, right?
Yeah.
And so anything that I can do on the show to have that brought up. And I love the idea of us destigmatizing mental health issues. So like when you're real and you're telling me, hey, you know what, I had to get away from YouTube because I had stuff going on personal. And I'm like, you know what, thank God you helped yourself to get through that. And you know, anything that we could do to just be more humane and compassionate and empathetic with each other because of what we've been through in the last year and a half, and even before that. But I just want that to be a major theme going forward. That, like, for me, somebody who has a really severe mental health episode, it reminds me of somebody like who has type 1 diabetes, where they go into diabetic coma shock for the lack of insulin. And it's a biological thing. And there doesn't need to be any stigma or judgment attached to somebody who goes through that.
Yeah, it's hard being a human being. It is. We did not,
especially when you're also intuitive, right? It's like, it's exacerbated, I feel like sometimes.
And you feel everything. And then you also sometimes put yourself second because you understand why you're helping this person, but then you also see that you're neglecting yourself. Like, it's tough. So it's really important for people to just remember that it's okay to fall apart sometimes. It's okay to not be able to do social media for a week or just hate it. You know, like I go through big periods of like, I hate the internet so much. Just, and then the next day I'm like, I just love it so much where I could connect with everyone in the world. You know, it's like, it's hard being a human being, and it's okay to say that. You know, we're not strong. We're all faking it till we make it, pretty much. So it's okay.
Exactly.
You know?
You're right. 100%. If we didn't say that, we wouldn't be honest with the public. If you can't say that you haven't had a tough year or you've had rough moments every day that you can work through, or that you go through your mental health and it's just something you've got to accept and understand, and people need to respect that. You know, not everyone's 100% every day. And
exactly.
At least we can pick our heads up and push through it, because what I love about having you on here is you're a content creator. So your moods are reflected in your posts and you feel the energy of your fans.
Yeah.
And you
definitely.
I feel that. I feel the fuel of it. It's like when I get to do a really awesome interview, I have the endorphins that last me for hours.
Yeah.
Or even as a lawyer, when I do my other stuff, you know, I love what I do. When you love what you do, you're not going to question what you're doing. Yeah. You know, the universe has you on the path for a reason. You're on a special
even on your bad days, you're like, I know why this is happening. Like, let me just keep going, you know?
It's hard though, right? Because you'll have a depressed mood for a minute and you're like, wait, my life is actually really good. I need to rationalize here for a minute.
For real.
Like,
that was me.
Like, what am I upset about at the moment? Like, it's a mood, and I need to get myself out of the mood in order to feel better. But it's just something you got to work at, right? It's like going to the gym and working your muscles. Mental health is like getting yourself out of those moods by talking your way through positive things to get yourself. That's at least how I do it. I've been doing it recently like that, and it's been working pretty good. Have you had any strategies for your self-care when you go through some depressed moods? Like, is there anything you do in particular? Meditate, pray, sit under your tree?
That's exactly what I do. I have my forest. I call it my fairy forest.
I love it.
To the fae, and among other things. So that's my first stop. I tell everyone, go to nature.
Yes.
Mother Nature. She's our mother. She helps us. And it's like, I go, I cry, I scream, I'm like, what's my life? And then I walk home and I come home and then I'm fine. And I'm like, let me eat, let me take a nap, and let me heal. You know what I mean? So going to nature, walking my dog, playing with my dog, like sometimes just being a child helps me, like tapping into my inner child.
Yes. Nourish your inner child for sure.
Yes. It helps me a lot. That's like the main things. I'm listening to music. I love music.
I love music too. Music's therapy, isn't it? Yeah. I will play my music and I'll go for a walk outside here in Tampa, and I'll walk along the water. And between listening to my music, being out in nature, and feeling the energy of Mother Earth in its best form possible, which is being outside, I feel like I get revived.
Yeah.
In fact,
you have to remember, like, spirit gives us messages through songs too, and through the animals that we see while we're out, and the insects. Like, you have to keep your eyes open. Always. Can
we talk about synchronicities? Because I want to get your opinion.
Yes,
we were introduced through synchronicity. we were introduced because of synchronicity. So I know I know we're meant to do some big stuff, some interesting things. Start with our interview. But I've gotten nonstop synchronicities the last several years with the times of day, music, certain songs. I get certain things on TV where channels will pop up on my remote to get stuck on a remote and have to do with the same person or thing. Dreams. A lot of it deals with the soul contract you have with people or whatever. But I want to ask you, what's been your personal experience with synchronicity in your life, and how has it shaped the direction you've taken?
Well, I've learned through my journey that is why I'm here, to help people decipher the synchronicities and the signs. I feel like I'm Neo in the Matrix sometimes. I'm like, I see the numbers. But my personal experience is, before I knew I was a psychic, anything like that, right before I moved to America, I was having a really, really bad time at my job. Horrible, terrible for my mental health. My boss was disgusting. He used me, manipulated me, because I was a very quiet and shy person, and he knew how to use that to do whatever he wanted at work. I was so depressed, and I began to see, like, I was like looking at my clock right now. It's nearly 3:33. I'm like, I'm done. But like, I kept looking at my clock, and it would be 111 every time, though, like 111, 222, 3, to the point where I got scared, and I was like, okay, am I like in a movie or video game? Like, am I tripping? Am I having psychosis? Like, I was tripping out. I look at billboards and numbers, and they're just everywhere. So I start to Google them, and I put in angel number 111, 222, and I began to try and understand and decipher that. And that really opened up the world of synchronicities for me like that, because it really pushed me to fly to America to visit my now wife. You know, it just pushed me to trust myself completely, because I was like, okay, this is crazy. Like, someone is doing something right now. And it was my first sort of introduction into that world. Then when my like gift started to develop, I began to understand and learn that animals and bugs and insects, especially spirit, uses those to send messages big time. I don't know about anyone else, but me all the time. So I just Google everything, because it's all there. That's what it's for. It's all there. So I'd Google what a dragonfly means, what a fly means, what a cockroach means when you see it, like the animal totem, to just understand. And I just really began to learn that spirit can't say, hey, Jason, turn right and go over there and get the person you fall in love with. Like, they can't do that, but they try and send these little signs and signals to make you stop and think and hear what they're saying, or hear what you're saying to yourself, in order to help you move forward. You know what I mean? I always say, like, spirit is not the puppet master. They can't move your arms and legs, but they can send a gentle breeze to push your head to possibly look left. And your free will is there to see, are you going to make that decision? Or are you going to go another way and learn a different lesson? You know, so I love synchronicities. Numbers are my thing. I'm tied on me. Like, I'm a number person.
What do you think of 1111? Because that number is prominent in the last couple of years.
That's an amazing number. Like, one, I see it as like a lightning strike, like the first idea, inspiration, the big bang, you know, like the idea becoming reality. So when you see like 111, that's like, look, you need to trust the fact that possibly you're being pushed to do like a new hobby or go a new path, and you have to trust that feeling and not be scared. So any new ideas you get, just go for it. Even if you may fail, it then like will lead you to maybe another part of your chapter, you know, but it's really like they're pushing you to be like, look, a new chapter's starting and you are the beginning of that, and you have to trust that, you know? So yeah, that's what I think. I could go on about numbers.
I get 1111 a lot. I get 111, 2223. I get all of them actually, but yeah. I also get my birth time. I don't know. Have you ever known anyone with synchronicity? I actually have synchronicity in my birth date and time. I was born at October 18th, 1975, give you my age. And I was born at 10:18 at night. And my birth certificate shows both of those. And my mom's always said that there's some synchronicity there, but I've never figured that out other than just to see it and make a joke about it now and then.
I'm the same with my birthday. My birthday is the 24th of April. And that's always stalked me. And it's such a balanced number, like 2 and then 4 and then
4. Yeah.
You know, so I always think to myself, it's like basically reminding me when I have my worst days, like, you were born for a reason. You are so important that we have to remind you daily of the moment you came into this world, because it changed something in this world. So that's what I think to myself. That's what keeps me going.
Absolutely. I will ask you this. You mentioned earlier that you dealt with, I think on your YouTube channel, you came out. I wanted to ask you about that experience for yourself. Was it a difficult experience for you to come out on social media like that? Or what was it? Where were you at in your life at the time? Like,
well, what's funny, I came out to the internet before I came out to my family.
Surprise.
Because I knew they didn't watch my YouTube. I was like, I need to just say this right now. But what's crazy is I came out because I knew I had to come out to help other people. Because at the time I was perceived as quite feminine and I didn't look gay. So that was my biggest thing. And people would kind of judge me for that. I got a lot of hate. I had death threats from that. Like, random people like just hated me because I was mixed race and because I was gay. Like, YouTube was a crazy place back then. But what pushed me to do it was because I just knew it would help other people. And I didn't know anyone gay at all. The only gay person I knew was in my high school, and they were bullied for it. So I was terrified to come out because I didn't want to be treated the way she was. That's all I knew. And I didn't know nobody gay in my life except for online. Like, my life has been online. I've been a recluse my whole life. Even when my mom was alive and then when she passed, she's kept me safe in hermit mode until I like branch out into the world, I guess, even now. So I knew that I had to say it to help other people. And the amount of like love and messages I still get from that one video, I think it was, how'd you know you're gay or something like that. And it helped so many people. And like, I just knew it would, regardless of what happened. I just knew if I helped some children who were in their bedroom like me with no friends like me, then it was worth it, you know? So it was
would say from what you're saying, it sounds like that would probably be one of the most isolating aspects to go through is when you're closeted as a gay person and you don't have role models or anyone to talk to or associate with or connect with, and you're by yourself and you play that role, you play that role of somebody that's still in the closet, and you feel like you're, the only way you could really function is to thank God the internet gave you that. And that's the value of the positive aspects of being connected, right? And being able to have the courage to find your own community where one didn't exist before. And you created your own world. You created your own opportunity, and then you thrived from it. See, really that's the stuff I love to showcase.
Yeah.
Because you've overcome some adversity on some massive levels, in my opinion, but you're showing people, look, you know what? You can deal with this set of cards.
Yeah.
You can be gay, and you can be creative. You can be a psychic. You can be intuitive. You can be an influencer. Yeah. And guess what? There's more there, right? And there's more to you than even those levels. But I think it's exciting that you have the ability to reach people and relate to people. And that's a special thing. And so I want to ask you this, as an influencer, what's been the most rewarding moment for you that you felt like you could have a positive impact on helping other people? Was it coming out on YouTube? Was it creating amazing content that you're doing now on TikTok and Instagram? Or was it something else?
Being able to do readings for so many people, like I do so many readings daily, and to just every single person, or just when someone like messages me and they're just like, your reading like really changed my life. I remember I had one reading, and I do so many, I forget, people, and they're like, do you remember me? I'm like, I don't, I'm sorry, I did two readings today. But like, I remember a woman was like, because of you, I left an abusive relationship and I'm free.
Wow.
That was a big one.
That's power in a good way.
Or like when people say I was like in their dream and I pulled a playing card for them. Like, I'm like, no wonder I'm tired when I wake up. Like, I'm doing this work even in my sleep. But it's like to just know that I have been a shining light in people's lives that I don't even know. It gives me like, I'm so grateful for that, because not many people can say that they've just helped so many lives, so many that I don't even know 95% of them, like it's like to be able to help people, I'm super grateful for, because I'm able to be the person that I wished was in my life, to just see or observe or follow online. Like I didn't know anybody like me, and my inner child I would have had a better life if I would have had someone like me to look up to, so I just want to be that person for older people, younger people, everybody, you know what I mean? To just know that you're not alone, and there's this regular person who can just post something and make someone's day. Like, that's crazy to me. Just the fact that I can make someone's day is just crazy to me, to be honest. That's really,
because you entertain. You entertain. I've watched your clips. You entertain. Yeah. I was entertained. I was like, wait a minute, she's talking to me right now. She's talking about my situation with this. Like, I was like, okay, you feel that relatability from you. And when you talk, there's a certain level of authority when you come through, you channel amazing energy. And so I will tell my audience to definitely check out your stuff, because your content is amazing. And I just
put effort in.
I know you put effort in. And I want to ask you that. Like, I know these clips on TikTok, I mean, they have to take work on your part. Like, how do you create your product? Is there a process you go through on a daily basis when you do a post, or do you think about it ahead of time and then kind of come up with it and ad lib it, fill it in, and do it?
With everything I do, I say, Spirit, please, like I'll wake up and be like, Spirit, please push me in the right direction to make content that will help, that will reach a good amount of people and help people. I think for myself, but I'm Spirit's like my crutch. I'm like, what do you think I should do? And then they're like this. I'm like, okay. So I'm creative on TikTok, but I feel like I'm more creative on my Instagram, because I love to create celebrity tarot cards. I love to do graphic design and like scanning tarot cards and put things behind it and like make art with psychic stuff. That's just my thing. I just like you said in the beginning, and no one's ever said, which was so nice. It's just like, I'm like an artist, like Van Gogh and things like, I really am, you know? And it's like, I that's what I put into my stuff of just, if I look at this and I love it and I relate to it and it makes me happy, I'm sure it'll do that for somebody else. You know, and I always have to remind myself of that, of what, even if it gets 3 likes, I'm like, those 3 people saw it and I helped 3 people. And that's all that makes me happy. So, and I love TikTok because I love music. So I love to like find the
it's
right
great.
song. Yes. Like what's so funny is because when I do them, I put the song, I find a song and then I shuffle my cards and I show the cards. And I don't really read them as I'm doing it. I do it afterwards when I'm editing it. And like 10 times out of 10, the song will relate to the cards and then what I write. So it's kind of, I work backwards. So I'm a backwards worker. So that's kind of what I do. And I just love music. So I just love that TikTok has music and I can put like energy into it like that and just have fun. It's fun to me. TikTok is fun and Instagram is more like a bit more serious and like I'm putting more like thought and process into it, but it's just fun to me. I love to just create, really.
Who is your most influential music artist and why?
Who's my favorite music artist?
Yeah, and most influential.
Billie Eilish.
Nice.
I love Billie so much. I'm very drawn to her with the way she creates, the way she expresses herself and how real and authentic she is. I just love her. So it's like her music, everything like that. It just reminds me to just be myself unapologetically 1,000,000,000,000%.
You know that actually, I got to follow up with that. Have you ever like reached out to any of your own celebrity people that you like are a fan of and you're like, hey, what's up? Like, have you ever had someone respond to you that they look at your stuff and have you ever had anyone that you've looked up to react to you?
Not yet. No, that's
and
like,
you're right when you say yet.
Not yet. Like I've had like this. It was just recently. Like one person I followed on TikTok for a long time. He's like pretty cool. They like I commented something about numerology on their post, and they like saw me and then DM'd me, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know I exist. But they weren't like a celebrity. But like, yeah, I hope so. That would make it full circle for me because, in a way, those are the people I want to help because those are the people that influence the whole of society. So it's like, if I were to help those people get their minds right, they can then help the whole of the world's mind be right because they're in a better space. You know what I mean? So
we heal people with advice, right? Good advice can heal people sometimes, can help them liberate you from I've had amazing psychic readings where people have given me the ability to get through some tough moments. And it's all about having that confidence in yourself and knowing that things are going to work out for you. And 99.9% of the things you worry about, they're never going to happen. You're just burdening yourself with a bunch of clutter and thoughts that don't even belong in your head.
We overthink.
Right? Overthink things way too much. So having the ability of minimizing that for people, it's like, hey, don't worry about all that. You could just focus on what you need to be good at and do that. And those people will be like grateful because you're helping relieve them of the burdens on their minds. We can't play God. I can't tell somebody, don't get the vaccine, you'll be fine. Like, no, I would feel horrible with myself. And that's, I actually want to ask you this. In times of uncertainty, have you found that your psychic readings have gone up or that you've had more demand for your gifts and your talents because of the uncertainties that exist in our world right now?
Yeah. Well, I have a lot of people come to me about relationship things. So it's like people are craving stability and to be claimed by someone. I don't know the right way to say it, but just claimed, owned by someone. Like they want me. And I feel like I'm kind of helping people recently to be more independent and more confident within themselves and to understand that in a relationship, that person can add to your emotional cup, but they're not the whole cup. They're not your whole reason for being. So I feel like at the minute, there's a lot of people who are just needing validation and they're searching for it in all the wrong places. So they come to me like, is this person the one? Are they my twin flame? And it's like, no. You're just you're lonely perhaps, or you're just craving for someone to value you, but you're looking for it in the wrong spaces. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of what I've been helping people with recently. But when I'm not in a good space, I'll go live and do readings and it will help me so much because spirit will be so loud in all those readings. And then I'm like, okay, that's what I to learn this. Yeah.
I'm going to tell you this. This is something else I share with my audience regularly. When I do readings, like when I had my cancer diagnosis 3 years ago and I had to wait till the surgery, it was my readings and my interviews that got me through the negativity of that. It's the endorphins. Like when we get done with this interview today, I'll probably go for a walk outside as long as it doesn't rain here in Florida. And I'll have like enough to walk 6 miles with the energy I got from our 1 hour talking together, these high vibrational moments where we're excited being creators who are psychic intuitive people that want to share our information with our audience, right? And I feel that energy from you. That's why I feel so like animated right now. And I think it's because we're in our power and we're feeling our purpose. In very strong terms. I want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's say someone in our audience is 12 years old, little girl. Mm-hmm. And looks up to people a lot in social media, and she considers herself an aspiring influencer in the future. She wants to develop her own audience. Yeah. What advice would you give her?
Do what makes you happy. Don't compare yourself to other people. I always say this to people, don't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 15. Like if you create and do what makes you happy and you look at the video and it gets 2 views, but it makes you so happy, keep going, because your people will come. If you create things to make other people happy, you will never be happy. Because I went through a phase of that of myself where I'd post what I thought other people would like. And it killed me inside because I was empty. I wasn't happy. I was stressed about, will they like this? How many views will it get? How many likes? Do not worry about that in the beginning, not even a little bit, because they will come, like what's the phrase? Like build it and they will come.
Yes.
It's like, that's literally what it is. Like just do without a shadow of a doubt what makes you happy and be yourself. I can't emphasize that enough. Be yourself. Because it shows when you're not yourself, you're uncomfortable and it shows. So just be yourself.
Authenticity is probably one of the most important lessons we've learned on this great earth, I believe.
Yes.
I consider you very strong in the creative department. I want to ask you, what's the source of your creative power?
I don't know. That's a great question. Probably other artists. Like I love Basquiat. I love Keith Haring. And I go to the art gallery. Like when I lived in the UK, because they're free in the UK, you could just go. I'd go there. It was my escape. I'd go every other day and I'd walk around and around and I'd see the same paintings, but I would still love them the same. It's like I look to artists in the past and old movies and old music. I love Peggy Lee and things like that. Like I love old jazz music. I love just old things. I'm an old soul. I'm very tired.
I get the word vaudeville off your energy from a prior life. The word vaudeville. The word vaudeville comes off your energy as a past life for you. So I think you might have been in vaudeville. I think that's that's right. I think I have to write it down too, because I will tell you after our interview, I'll come up with words like that and then I'll look them up later. I'll Google it. Yeah. And it'll give you some indication. I know it was a creative energy you had in that life. And I feel like it was 100 years ago. There's something with vaudeville. So whatever that is, I'm sure. I'm sure it's easy to figure it out. I just, at this moment in time in our interview, I'm just sharing that with you. But
I'll grab my cards and I'll figure it out.
What's your favorite example of the power of manifestation in your life? And I'll go first if you want me to.
Yeah, you can go first.
I have started using vision boards for a few years. And then I had John Asseroth on my show last year. He's like a master manifester. He's coming back again this August, but we're in August. Anyway, my point is I started using a dry erase board from my law office. I brought it home because I wasn't in the office anymore for COVID. So I brought this really big dry erase board. I put up my bedroom, made room for it. And I started writing down ideas that I wanted for manifestation. And I noticed over time, those things happened. So now I'm very careful what I write on that board. Like I wrote Trump goes to jail. Well, we'll see. Just as a side thing there. No diss to any Trump. That's my opinion. Yeah. But more importantly, though, I've had I put organize my house, organize my garage, organize my office. And this was last year. So, those things happen. My mom came to visit me during COVID. She organized my house. My one friend came in, helped me do the garage without me even thinking it. And I go back and I look and I check it off. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. So that's like and I've had examples like where I was like, oh, it'd be great if I had a reading today. And then I had a person call me and schedule me a reading 5 seconds later. Like, just those kind of things happen very frequently. I've learned to manifest proper thoughts, positive thinking, thinking loving thoughts to others, trying to send loving, healing energy, even people you don't talk to anymore, forgiving people, letting go. So I'll ask you about your manifestation in your life and what do you think?
Well, me living in America, I first learned about manifestation from The Secret. And there's a lot of not good things in The Secret, but that kept me focused. I feel like Spirit was like, read this book, just get some tips. So I created a vision. It was a vision board. I didn't know if manifestation was a vision board. And I put everything on there about moving to America, marrying my wife, getting the visa approved, having the right amount of money to do that. Because I had no financial help doing it whatsoever. I live with my dad. I didn't have nothing. I just finished being a student. I don't know what I was doing in life, but I was like, look, I know I'm meant to move to America. I put it right. This is my vision board for now, and I'll tell you about it. But So I put it near my bed. I'd see it every single day I woke up and every time I went to sleep, because it was the only thing that kept me going. And I'd stare at it and I'd visualize walking through the Austin airport. I'd visualize marrying my wife. I'd visualize having the visa approved. And it happened. It took time and energy, but everything aligned for me to get the right job and then be able to leave that job and be able to just pack my stuff up and leave, or have the right amount of money to take with me. Like, it all aligned due to my vision board. And this one I've got now, the things haven't materialized, but they're coming because I just focus on it every single day. But I use vision boards for manifestation. And also just talking. Like yesterday, I was laying in bed, I was feeling so sorry for myself. And I was like, I really need to make some money for rent right now. Like, it's a bit low. I'm a bit stressed. And within 40 minutes, I'd made the amount for rent and then some more. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, this altar I have here, my altar is something I use to communicate with spirit and my ancestors and my guides. And I really feel like that's something that's helped me too, because I'm very much a gods and goddesses type person, and respecting them and allowing them to help me and giving them respect. So that's definitely something that's helped me. But vision boards, those are key.
Priceless, right? It's like a power.
Yes.
When I go to Walmart and I pick up a dry erase board, people are looking at me like, oh, that's just a dry erase board. I'm like, no, this is my map. This is my journey. This is my key to success. I'm going to write my thoughts on this specific little board right here. That's going to get me lined up for the next month, 2 months, whatever. And I gift boards to people now. Oh, thanks for the dry erase board. Like, well, it's not the board I'm gifting to you. Yeah, I'm going to tell you how to manifest if you want to try it.
Yeah. And not like overanalyze. It's like, I feel like it just helps you to just get your thoughts focused and remind you every day of what it is that you want. So I love it. I love to use it. And this one's one that's new for the future. And what's crazy is just the other day, like, I've been thinking I want to move to LA. And then my wife was like, I really feel like we should move to LA. I was like, my board's working. So I'm just like on that. So hopefully that's manifested by like the end of the year into next year.
I get January, you're in LA.
Yeah. Well, what's crazy is my wife, she's doing really well for herself. She's a rapper here. And she's going to be going to the Grammys in January. That's our 10-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
So yes, that's like, and it's awesome because Grammys is something we watch every year. We manifest ourselves together, this life that we see for ourselves. And it's kind of materializing, and we manifested that. I know that much. But yeah, I'm so excited. But yeah, I don't know what I was saying with that. I got lost because I'm like, I'm so excited about that.
I'll say this. Yeah. I think you need to be in LA. I think LA is important for you. I think it's going to lead to other doors and other creative ventures that you don't even have in Austin right now. And I think your ability to channel the inner power of yourself to create these platforms that you just amazingly create and maintain. And that's why I really consider a social media influencer when I think about it. Somebody who creates their own platform and has an audience where they can help people learn from their experiences or relate back to each other, right? Because you learn from your audience, I'm sure. You learn from impacting. It's beautiful, right? You learn about these different ideas and stuff. And so I think being a social influencer, at least my interpretation of it, is that you have these talent sets that have given you the ability to create this marketing amazing thing for yourself. And it's the sky's the limit. The infinite potential is there because you have all this creative power inside of yourself. It's a furnace. It's a furnace of unbelievable and unimaginable opportunities. And I see you producing things, actually. You might be in video production in the future. Not just, I see you doing video production.
I just have everything in my brain. Everything.
Well, what you got to do is...
everything.
She's in music, and you also have music, but you're very strong in this creative video. I see you're very visionary. You visualize. Your clairvoyance is very strong, like mine is, and you can see things and you make those things become reality. And when they happen that way, you smile. Like I'm smiling right now because like it's cool because we have the opportunity to just do things that average people, and I don't mean to call us above average. I'll just say that we're people that are more in tune with ourselves. We know our limits, our potentials, our successes, right? And we can manifest more success if we want to, if we don't get in a funk with our mental health.
That's what I mean. That's what I feel like that was the test that was given to me. Like, look, you can have it all if you can overcome this. And then I just want to be able to tap into those things and embody them so then I can teach others how to do it. I don't want this to be some secret that's just for me. Like, look, if I can do it, Keeley from Manchester, England, who was the quietest child in the whole school, never speak a word, felt so lonely, so insecure, so unseen, so just left to the wolves, really, emotionally. If I can do it, anyone can freaking do it. Hands down, anyone can do it. And I'm just trying to learn, figure it out, so then I can get to the top and be like, guys, look, this is how you do it. Come on. Because it's there for everyone. All the riches, all the things that are being gatekept by society, they're there for everyone. And I want to get to the top, open the gate, and let everybody in. And then we're all doing good, you know? So that's what I hope to do.
And that's what you're going to do. Because I see the video production in the future. I see you collaborating with video production companies, and you're going to have a big enough brand with your audience by then that you're going to not have to worry about negotiating anything. It's all about collaborating as equals. Yeah. By the time you're doing what I see, you're going to be collaborating as an equal. I think the most exciting thing of what we've talked about today is having the authenticity with each other to be vulnerable, right? Yeah. We can both be vulnerable and talk about these things and not have fear about what we're saying, because we know within ourselves that we can say these things, because it's important to share with others who may not be further along like we've been with being open about mental health or being open about just various challenges. And I wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Wow. I see myself. It's crazy because I never really tell people my dreams apart from like my wife, but to be honest with you and everyone watching, I see myself in a standing in the world where I'm well known, not a celebrity, I don't like that word, but just a person that's well known, that people can look to know that that is a real person. And I know that what they post and what they say is real, because celebrities have so much influence on children, the way they dress, the way they eat, what they listen to, where they go, their goals and aspirations. Everyone wants to be an influencer now. My niece, she's like 12. She's like, I want to be a vlogger. I'm like, what are you talking about? Don't you want to be a doctor or a nurse? Or it's like, these people shape the minds of generations to come. And I want to just be someone that is an positive influence in that, because personally I just feel like there's no positive influence in the celebrity kingdom of just, oh, that's a good person and they say good things, and it's like, you know what I mean, they just kind of all for themselves a little bit, they kind of, you know. And I see myself as someone who is a well-known person who uses their gifts to help other people and raise the vibrations of the world in an effective and intense way, you know what I mean. And
I love the raise your vibration one. That I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
Yeah, just the things we've been through. Like, we need someone to look up to, and I'm happy enough to be that person and take on that responsibility, because I feel like I'm strong enough to. So I feel like that's pretty much what I want to do, through visuals, like you said, through books, through music, through art, through everything I birth from myself. Like the other day I got a reading from someone, they were like, I feel like you have kids or a lot of children. I'm like, I haven't got children, but I have spirit babies. I have ideas that I want to birth and grow and give to the world. And I'm like, you're welcome, you know, like, and that's where I see myself. I see myself next to my wife, pushing, changing Hollywood and LA and balancing all the energies there, because it's the epicenter of the world, and the movies, it influences everything. And it just needs a cleanup and a shake up. And I'm okay taking on that responsibility. So that's what I see for myself, really. Hopefully, let's see. But yeah.
Let's see if you like this question. Tell me one thing about yourself that you've never shared with anyone publicly, but what you'd be willing to share with our audience today. And I can go first if you want.
Yeah, so I can think.
To make it a little easier.
Yeah.
I try to do one of these in my episodes and not come up with the same thing.
Yeah.
So I've already shared that I'm a World War II buff and I'm nerdy like that. And I've also shared that I'm happy and I enjoy doing my shows a lot more now. I would have to say that another thing I'd share is that I know in the future, things are going to be really good for a lot of us and that we just have to hang in there. But that's not really me sharing a personal detail. So I guess let me get back to the drawing board on this one.
Yeah.
I would say for me, I'm a night person. I like to stay up late at night. I stay up sometimes till 2 or 3 in the morning, to my detriment, because I have to get up at 7 for work. But I've always been a night person my whole life. And I'm just one of those people that beats my own drums. So my sleep habits are sometimes disturbed because of my excitement with being up late at night, being creative, working on my show or working on stuff for my loft, whatever it is, but more creative stuff at night. So that's one thing I'll share today.
I think one thing I'd share that not a lot of people know is I've always wanted to be a singer so bad, but I'm petrified of singing in front of people. I can't even sing in front of my wife. But when I'm by myself, I'm singing and I feel so amazing. It's like my one thing that makes my soul just soar through to the roof. But I'm absolutely petrified of singing in front of people, and I never have. So that's one of the biggest things.
I'll add to make you feel a little more better about it. A little more. I actually sing to my birds.
Yeah. I sing.
And I have a horrible voice too. When it comes to singing, I don't hit the notes, and I try to do different songs for Little Nas X, or I'll do little. It doesn't sound good. Or I'll just, because my one bird loves like the rap music, so I'll try to get.
Your bird's like, get it.
Yeah, she's just going at it, and I'm like, okay, I'm looking like a total fool right now, but no one else needs to know that but me. now everybody else. But
like, I have a ukulele, everything. Like, I love music. Just my biggest fear is being perceived as being a bad singer, so I don't even attempt it.
But do you think from everything else that you've experienced in your life that you're gonna think people are gonna think you're a bad singer?
No, but I have so many blockages here, like in my throat.
That's one of your challenges, probably, is to overcome.
The biggest challenge of my life. Like, I used to do acting classes when I was younger and dance classes. My mom was like, she saw something for me, but my anxiety, even as a kid, I was like, I can't be perceived. So it's like, now that'd be the next step.
Was someone else in your family a performer too when you were younger? Was there a performer in the family that you'd go watch? Because I feel like there's someone in the family in the back of your family roots that somebody had performing roots too. History.
My dad loved music and he had a guitar until someone stole it. Okay. But like, I'm not really connected to really my family like that. So I don't know.
Like your mom's grandmother, like your grandmother on your mom's side, or any of those people. I feel like there's some energy that's very creative in that side of your family. Maybe.
Like, I wish I could figure it. I wish I would know. Like, I'm not like, I don't talk to my family like that. But there is this fire in me of musician and being a singer, but it's just like, I'm too shy. I
gotta challenge you on that. Why would you be shy about that when you do all these amazing things? Like your wife's a rapper and you produce your wife as a DJ. You're telling me you're a little nervous about singing there?
You said what was one secret. That's my biggest.
I love it. No, I'm not trying to be different. I just think it's such an amazing thing because you have all this creative energy that I think you're meant to either write music, perform music, or help produce.
I freaking love music. Like, I hear it and I'm like, you need to change this, you need to do this. But if someone said, Keeley, get on stage, I'd be like, what are you talking about?
I'm going to tell you something too. No matter what, I can talk like this any day of the week. If you put me up and do karaoke, I feel weird. Ooh. I can't do karaoke, and I know that sounds silly, but no, I can talk on this and do this, no problem. I love it. I'm passionate about it. But you put me in, try and get me to loosen up, and it doesn't work.
I can't do it.
Off myself.
Like, I can go live on TikTok and there'd be like 1,000 people, and I'm just pulling cards, and I'm just like la 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 la. But I've done karaoke once, and I had to.
It's awkward, isn't it?
I don't even remember it, but
it's awkward because you're singing this song in front of these group of people, and you're probably with some friends or someone you care about, and you're just like, "Am I really doing this right now?" And it feels painful. Even I can't handle I don't know what it is. Maybe because it's my own fear of rejection about singing. I think
that's exactly what it is. My fear of rejection, of being booed off stage. No.
And when you look at our real lives and you think of the reality, do you think you'd really be booed off stage for trying to sing? I don't think so.
No.
But I know, I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Look, it's like jumping out of an airplane when you're scared of heights, which, by the way, I am. So I'm not going to celebrate my 46th birthday jumping out of an airplane. I am going to celebrate my 46th birthday on the ground.
Comfortable, happy.
Comfortable and happy. Exactly. Yeah. Let me ask you this. If you were a spirit animal, which spirit animal would you be and why?
A cat. Because I've always been connected to cats. I'm very connected to Egypt and Kemeticism, like working with Egyptian gods and goddesses. They're very deep rooted in me. So, and there's an Egyptian goddess called Bast. She's like the cat. You've probably seen her, heard of her. Speed off, sir. Okay. But cats, yeah. I just love cats. I love everything about them. I would have a cat if my wife liked them, so she don't still got a dog. But cats, I just love how knowing of themselves they are, and they know that they were once worshipped, and they like for us to remember it and still hold up that bargain that we signed spiritually years ago. So yeah, a cat. I love cats so much. I could bask in the sun all day and just chill out. That's the best life.
I always say owl because I have two parrots.
Ooh,
and
yeah.
I like wisdom, and I'm always on a search for looking at things from like, you can understand this, looking beyond the immediacy of right now to see the big picture. Yeah. And I feel like I'm pretty good at that when I give readings or just in general. And so that's why I say owl. And I think owls are fascinating, by the way. I think they're amazing, you know. Direct our audience. Let's say somebody listens to this and they're like, wow, I loved hearing Keeley just now, and I want to reach out to her and I want to let her know she did an amazing interview today and she inspired me in so many countless ways. How would somebody find you?
I'm on Instagram and I'm on TikTok. So Instagram is just Memekeely, so Memekeely. And I'm on TikTok, the same thing. That's my name on everything. If you find me on YouTube, on Twitter, it's just Memekeely. And I post often on both platforms creatively and just sort of my life and whatever I love. That's what you'll find on whatever I create, you know. So Instagram and TikTok.
You're going to do some artistic work with angels in the future, something with angel designs. You're going to make it your own. Like I see that in your future path of some type of creative work. I don't know if they're tarot cards with angels on it or some graphic design with angel designs, but I see you doing something with an angel in it. That's going to be part of your branding in the future. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Down the road. I just want to thank Keeley for coming on the show today. She's the first social influencer coming on and sharing an amazing story. Just such great energy, as you can see. A fellow spiritual, psychic, intuitive person who got introduced to me in the most unique way. And I listen to synchronicity in my life. I listen to synchronicity of numbers. I pay attention to signs. You could tell Keeley's the same way. And I can just, I follow when I meet people and I just feel their energy and I know they're an amazing person. I want to share with my audience that amazing energy. And that's what I think Keeley represents today. Someone who overcame a lot of things earlier in her life, sexual orientation, having to come across from the other side of the world to meet her significant other and get married to her wife. And she made it as a YouTuber earlier in her life. And then she had mental health issues. And then now she's making it as a social influencer. I don't know many people that you can point to that can do things amazing more than once in a short period of time and not have to, that's a gift. And I think that if we can share what that gift is like to inspire other people, then that is just a service we're serving the world right now. I want each of you to think about synchronicity today, because that's something that is a very powerful force in many of our lives. And it's something that if you don't pay attention to it, you don't benefit from it. Pay attention if you're thinking about one of your deceased relatives. And if all of a sudden it's 3:33 and you're thinking that you're grieving the person and you feel the comfort and you're like, wow, that time is so weird right now. It's 3:33 and I was thinking about my mom. She passed. That's probably your mom communicating to you. And the synchronicity can be a way for spirit life to communicate with us, our dreams. You can be introduced to some amazing people if you pay attention to synchronicity, like I did with Keeley. And you can also just respect it. It's a force of nature. And that's what I would like to tell you. Everything we discuss here that deals with psychic energy, it's all natural. It's all nature. You heard us talk about going in the trees and being outside or on the water and walking outside. That's because we get recharged by connecting with nature. And you can do the same. So anything we talk about here, I just want to open up your paradigms and have you think about these things, because it can really make a difference in your life as we go through these trying times and the times of uncertainty. So check out Memekeely's information. Please do. You'll love it. You'll be entertained. You'll enjoy it. And I can see Keeley as someone that's going places. I've been using that line a lot recently with certain people in my life, but she's definitely somebody. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Stay positive, because when you're positive, anything's possible.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Social Psychic Radio Show. Don't forget to join us for another episode next time. If you enjoyed the show, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give us a review on iTunes. You can also check us out on Facebook, and don't forget to visit the Social Psychic YouTube channel. Until next time, it's a big world out there. Keep an open mind, embrace your paradigms, and know that the universe is always yours to explore.